Hi, this is Timothy Zahn, author of Thrawn, and you're listening to Star Wars Reactions. Good for you.
There's been an awakening. Have you felt it?
In 1977, George Lucas formed a legacy.
The Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
Inspired by mythology, his saga has become a passion for many.
Feel the Force around you.
His legend has become our story.
It's true. All of it.
One of resistance.
We are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down.
Rebellion.
Rebellion is built on hope.
And redemption.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is Star Wars Reactions.
Remember, the Force will be with you. Always.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Star Wars Reactions. We're back, rested and ready to go for another fabulous episode. Reaction Madness is over. No more not Book of Boba Fett. Carabast. No more. No more Mandalorian. No more Bad Batch. So we're back, ready to have some fun, and we got a special show lined up for you. We're bringing back our reactions chat this week, and it's going to be great. So let's get the introductions out of the way. My name is Aaron Harris. I am one of your hosts here, and joining me is the Chewie to my Han, the David Motters. David, brother, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. I'm ready to react. And like you said, I was really excited to get this person on for a chat. He's been just great, great support, just wonderful guy. And so I'm ready to react with him. So here we go.
It's going to be great. It's good to be sitting down and doing a reaction chat again, because one of the things I love about these episodes is we get to sit down with somebody and basically just nitpick their brain and learn about their fandom, because everybody's fandom is different. Everybody's fandom is unique. And that is what makes this Star Wars community so awesome. So this person we have on tonight actually reached out to me a while ago and said, how would you like to have a listener on your show? And I said, that would be absolutely stinking awesome. We just got to get the right time at the right show, and worked out that we got him this week. He is one of our listeners. You see him all over Twitter. If you're on Twitter, you will see him posting every time we release a show. He's retweeting, he's commenting. If you listen to other Star Wars podcasts, he's a huge supporter of Star Wars podcasts and the Star Wars community. He's just an awesome dude, and I'm happy to have him on. Please welcome RuralFarmBoy to the show. How are you doing, sir?
Aaron, David, are we getting Star Wars in here now?
We're getting Star Warsy in here now.
All right, here we go.
There we go. For those of
yes, RFB is an Imperial supporter.
He is part of
Clearances
the Empire.
Might be out of date, but there we go.
Perfect. Well, we appreciate you coming on with us and sitting down to have this conversation with us and actually get to talk to you one-on-one again for the first time. It's going to be great. But as you know, what we like to do in these reaction chats is just get to learn about the people we're talking to. And learn about their fandom, what got them started in Star Wars and in fandom. So let's just start off right off the bat with the biggest question that we always start off with, which is how and when did your Star Wars fandom begin?
All right, so for me, I come from a time when I can remember when there weren't no Star Wars. And I was 9 years old, and I want to say, because that was a long time ago, it was when I was 9 years old, and a couple neighbor girls crossed away, come across and asked my mom in August of 1977 to take me and my little brother to see what was happening, it already happened all across the U.S. when Star Wars was really blowing up. And she said, yeah. And she took me and the girls took me and my little brother to see Star Wars. And I can remember sitting in, because that was 48 years ago. I can remember seeing Star Wars for the first time. And the first thing that I remember that stuck to me, because most folks of my generation would say it was the Devastator. We know as Darth Vader's Star Destroyer coming across the screen, long, slow. But for me, is when the stormtroopers blew open the door and just laid waste to that whole corridor of rebel troopers and boarded the Tandem V4. That's what stuck to me. And then ever since, I can remember listening to the radio dramas that I found on KDK radio. And from then there, that's what I got.
Very cool.
Nice.
Very cool. David, take next question.
Yeah. So kind of piggybacking off that first one, what was it about Star Wars that appealed to you as a fan?
Story. Always story. I say it, I've said it so many times, and I put it out in Twitterverse because RFB knows how to read Arabesh. Just tell me a Star Wars story. Take me back there. It doesn't matter where in the timeline, because we've got the timeline's really big now. From Bad Batch to Mandalorian to the sequels to the prequels, just tell me a Star Wars story. That's what speaks to me.
Very cool. Very cool. The stories definitely make Star Wars pop. It has always been a core factor of Star Wars, is the story that it tells and how it engulfs you and brings you in to it. And that actually can cause some huge impacts on people's fandom, or the stories and stuff that are being told. So what has been your fandom's biggest impact on you?
The fandom's biggest impact on me, I would have to say what I came into the Twitterverse for is all the Star Wars podcasts that I listen to. That has the biggest impact on me, because I hear through every minute, hour, day, week, month, so many opinions, so many thoughts that sometimes, like I said previously, I'm speaking to folks, speaking to me in the past. That speaks to me the most.
Awesome. David?
Yeah. So our next question in our chat is, do you have a favorite Star Wars moment or experience?
Whoa, okay. I can answer that very quickly. I do not favor any Star Wars, whether it's a story or a moment, story told to me over another. If you're going to ask me what my favorite Star Wars anything is, I'll say it's the last thing that I heard or watched or seen. Yeah, I can't favor any Star Wars over any other. I can't. Can't do it.
That's good. Cool. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Now, of course, like you said, you have been a Star Wars fan since you saw it at a young age in theaters, and experienced it firsthand back then. So you have seen fandom grow and change as we got more movies, as we got the series start coming out, where the animated series and now the live action series. You've seen it change and morph into what it is today. So I'd love to get your opinion on what have you seen what have you seen as the biggest change through fandom throughout the years, and how do you feel the direction of fandom is going?
What have I seen
as the biggest change in fandom throughout the years?
Aaron, can I ask you to please repeat the question?
Sure, of course. So in all your years of fandom, a lot has changed. So what would you say, looking at your fandom throughout the years and seeing how the Star Wars fandom has changed, what would you look at and say, this is the biggest change in fandom since I became a fan?
That there are now fans, just like us three, that are now getting to tell us Star Wars stories. Yeah. John Favreau, Dave Filoni, Deborah Chow, everybody that's been telling us stories from the Book of Boba Fett to Andor to everything. Yeah, the fans are telling us the stories. That's my opinion. They're telling us stories, and I've heard in my playlist that some folk are saying, "Let the fans tell us these stories." J.J. Abrams, Rian Johnson, they're the fans. They're telling us. They're fans too. They're telling us these stories. Also, Dave and John.
Yeah.
Fans just like us. They're telling us.
Well, and I was going to jump in there. I love that answer. And you got me thinking, RFB, about Leslie Headland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Remember seeing her in the Star Wars podcast or the Star Wars Celebration live stage?
Yes.
She was just adamant about exactly what you said. She says, you guys don't understand. I'm a fan of this. It saved my life. Now she's like, I cannot believe I get to tell these stories. And so I really love your answer because, gosh, when fandom started back then, you nailed it. It wasn't fans making it. Now you see them in every part of production.
Yes. Even the folks behind the productions. There's so many behind the productions that are fans, just like us. Yeah. And I don't want to go spoil things because RFB follows spoilers. I've heard what's going on behind Skeleton Crew and the Acolyte. So I'll just put that down on the floor and I won't say no more.
Like you said, fans are making those. Like you said, there's Skeleton Crew, the was it John Watts, and I'm trying to remember the other guy. They came to Favreau and said, "Hey, here's an idea that we've got," and they've worked on Spider-Man movies, and they're fans. So you nailed it, man. You nailed it. All these fans are really getting a shot at it.
Yeah, they truly are, and that's what has made fandom just grow so much. Is we've moved past we love George Lucas. He's just an incredible creative genius, and he created a sandbox, and now everybody that grew up with his creation is now playing in the sandbox, making the sandbox even bigger for people to play in. And it has just been a tremendous gift. And what's awesome, and this is something we talked about before we started recording too, is there's so much, the sandbox has grown so much, and there's so much there. It's okay if you don't like all of it. You're allowed to not like something that's made, but that doesn't mean somebody else is not going to love that thing and dislike something you like. That's okay. That's awesome. That we can have our own things that we like and we love. And there's no reason not to celebrate the saga overall, even if there's segments here and that you don't like. It's just it's such a wonderful fandom to be a part of, and the people in it can be incredible when you get to know them, which is why I love doing these episodes. I love doing these reaction chats, David. I do. We got to keep them going.
That's right. Well, I've got the next question. You ready?
All right, go ahead.
All right. So the Star Wars saga has themes that run through all the stories, themes like redemption, hope, etc. So RFB, what theme from the saga has made the biggest impact on you?
I would have to say, well, every story has a beginning. So for me, at 9 years old would be, so most folks of my generation would say when they see the Devastator in Star Wars, before it was called New Hope, going long over the screen. But for me, what sticks in my mind still to this day, because long ago, those memories get fuzzy, because what speaks to me is the stormtroopers blasting that door open on the Tantive 4 and filling that hallway out, cutting down all the rebel troopers. That's the one that speaks to me still to this day.
So almost like a theme of good versus evil.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha, my friend, gotcha.
Very cool, very cool. And and I got to say, because you've mentioned that scene a couple times, that I remember when I first saw Star Wars, and that was my favorite movie, and it still is to this day. The original Star Wars, A New Hope, call it whatever they want, it's Star Wars. That was the first one I saw, and I remember growing up watching that and wearing the VHS tape out because I was overseas, and we had it on VHS, and I remember just watching it and just wearing the videotape out so many times. I had so many copies of it because I wore it out so much. But I remember that opening scene as that you see the sparks start flying through the door and the door explodes and the troopers start blasting as they're running in. I remember flipping over the coffee table with a blaster, blasting back, just shooting whoever was on screen, whether it was the stormtroopers or the rebel fleet troopers. It didn't matter. I was shooting them all because it was fun just to be involved.
Right there with you, Aaron. Right there. Yeah.
Oh, so much fun. So much fun. So we have a series of 5 questions. Okay. Is it 5? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's been a while since we've done a reactions chat because of March Reactions Madness. I forgot how many questions we had. Our speed round questions that we have. They're simple 1-answer questions. Not hard. They should be one word answers. And we just fly through them real quick and get your thoughts. And it just gives us a brief insight to what you're into your fandom, into some of the more simpler aspects of fandom for you. You ready? And I got a feeling I know the answer to a couple of these already. So So I will kick it off, and David and I will alternate questions. You ready, David?
I am ready, my friend.
All right, I'm going first. What is your favorite Star Wars movie?
I do not favorite any Star Wars, whether it's audiobooks, movies, Disney Plus, over any other. If you're going to ask me what my favorite was, then I'm going to say it was the last one that I watched, and that would be, I just took a look at the first 4 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus. That's my favorite.
I knew that was going to be the answer. Love it. Love it.
I know it's good. It keeps it fresh. All right. Well, I mean, maybe this will be, I might know the answer to this one too, but what is your favorite character in Star Wars?
My favorite character. All right. So way back years and years and years and years, it was Darth Vader, because we did not know much about him. Mm-hmm. And that led me into my late 20s when I got him in ink on the shoulder. Okay. And then nowadays, because I spent time in the 501st Legion, that 501st Legion, as a stormtrooper, as a biker scout, as an Imperial Guard. But my favorite character, because I spent time in the armor, is a stormtrooper. And I was obsessed with them, seeing them board Tanda V4 when I was 9 years old with that white armor. And I'm fixing to join the Legion pretty soon to get back into that armor. I'm obsessed with stormtroopers.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Based on that answer, I think I know the answer to the next question, which is, do you prefer the Empire or the Rebellion?
You boys seeing this?
Yes.
You boys seeing this?
We see it, my friend.
RFB supports the Empire.
Oh, he's all over it, man.
Even in the remnant years. Yes, I support. Sorry, boys. I support the Empire.
No problem. No problem. Love it.
Well, let me ask this next one, because this actually, I think it'd be kind of cool to know this from you.
What's that?
Yeah, the question is this in our speed round. It's, do you have a favorite moment from the movies or a show? Like a favorite moment?
A favorite moment. This is gonna go off the grid.
Ooh.
And this is gonna be tied to Mandalorian.
Okay.
When Bo-Katan had said, and she said it over and over, that Mandalorians are stronger together. And well, we see how that turned up, because the Mandalorians have their home world back. Yeah, I never had no support from Moff Gideon from the start.
That's a great one, man. And that's yeah. And like how it ends with all them in the Great Forge, lighting the Great Forge. That was that's an awesome pick on that one. Aaron's got the last one here.
Very good, very good. And the last one.
We got.
All right. The last one is, do you have a favorite soundtrack song from one of the Star Wars soundtracks?
Yeah, and I want to say, favorite from the Star Wars soundtracks. I want to say this comes from when I got 3 girls. They're
Okay.
pretty much grown up now. But in past years, when they come over to spend time with me, because they're nerd girls, just like I taught them.
Nice.
And they also shared and listened to my Star Wars podcast playlist. I want to give a shout out to my middle girl, Abigail, because she was what I want to say. I'm missing the words. She's a flutist, and she national honors. She had national honors, and what she played, and I have the video saved, was Ray's theme.
Oh,
And yeah. When my girls listen to my podcast playlist with me for quite a long while, and she played it live with her flute here where I'm sitting right now. Yeah, and there was some tears flowing.
oh my God.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
That would definitely make it my favorite too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And to have that as a shared moment with your girls is incredible. That makes it so much more special. And especially with Star Wars, family is in the core of it too, with the core of Star Wars, and to have it shared with family like that just warms my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Warms my heart. All right. Well, that actually wraps up our speed round questions. Now, I did want to circle back and hit on something that you mentioned with being in the used to being in the 501st.
Yes, sir.
And you said you had a stormtrooper outfit and a scout trooper, correct?
Yes, sir. I spent time in both of those armors.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So what was, I mean, I know a lot of people see the 501st around everywhere, and see all the types of armor. But what being you're actually the first person we've had on that's has been a member in the past and stuff. What was it about the 501st that attracted you to it and made you want to join?
That same thing that I said a ways back when I was 9 years old and seeing the 501st boarding the Tandy V4. Mm-hmm. So folks of my age would remember, like I said, the Star Destroyer going way over. Yeah, when they were blowing open that blast doors, I had it stuck in my mind as a 9-year-old kid way back here in Pennsylvania there was no cosplay or costuming then, that I wanted that armor so bad. And then in 2001, when I became a member of Garrison Creeda, who's up here in Pennsylvania with me, that I got that armor.
Nice.
And that was just the best. Folks say that stormtroopers can't see out of that armor or can't hit their targets. I disagree. I never missed.
Yeah, they do have a bad rap on that, don't they?
Yes, they do.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So Garrison Creed, if I'm not mistaken, that's central and eastern Pennsylvania, correct?
Well, Garrison Creeda now owns the eastern part of Pennsylvania, and where I sit now, because I'm in western Pennsylvania, is Starkiller Base.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was going to say, because I used to live in Pittsburgh. So
now
I did. I used to live in Pittsburgh, and I was going to say, I thought Starkiller was over there, but I wanted to, I wasn't 100% sure because it'd been a while since I'd been up there. Yep. I lived in actually Carnegie, right on the outskirts of Pittsburgh. So.
Yippers. I know where that is.
Yep. Beautiful up there. I loved it up there. So I think I'm gonna be back for a visit. I need to go back up there and visit. It's been about 17 years since I've been up there. So I'm due for a visit to see what I can do about that. All right. Well, that actually wraps up our questions for the reaction chat. Now, of course, we know everybody knows they can follow you on Twitter on at RuralFarmBoy, which we'll have a link to that in our show notes. For you can go find Rural and follow up and see what podcasts he's listening to and what podcasts he recommends, and talk Star Wars to him whenever you're free and want to. David, if somebody wants to talk some Star Wars with you, my brother, how would they do that?
Absolutely. Usually two ways. One is at Twitter. And a lot of times I'm responding to Rural Farm Boy and saying hi and checking his out. So mine is at David_Modders, Modders. And the other one's Instagram. And that's just simply looking up my name, and there I be.
Excellent. And of course, you can hit me up anytime on Twitter at TAHarris121079. I'm always there for a good Star Wars chat. Of course, you can always follow the show on all of our social medias. We are on Facebook and Twitter at SW Reactions Pod. We are on Instagram and Pinterest and Tumblr, where you'll find all of our show notes and links. We're at SW Reactions. And of course, you can email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at Carebast. What's our email address? swreactions@gmail.com. Carebast. Oh my gosh. I've done so good today too, David.
You did. That's pretty good. We got to get at least one in. It's you kind of need to have a mess up just so we can say Carabast.
do I ever need an excuse to say Carabast though?
No.
Not that I've
heard. Exactly. So, of course, you know what it's time for. We end the show the same way.
Yes.
Rural Farm Boy gets to participate in it this week. It is time for our Star Wars dad joke of the week. And I searched the internet trying to find a great one, a cheesy one, because I knew we were going to have our guest today. And after having this conversation and hearing how much he loves the Empire, this could not have worked out any better than it did.
Give me. Here we are.
How does Darth Vader like his steaks?
I don't know. How does Darth Vader like his steaks?
Oh, Aaron, I'm stumped.
He likes them well done, done, da done, done, da done, done, da done.
Oh, so bad.
Aaron, I really gotta hook you up with Mike Porter. You're gonna love Mike Porter. I'll get that done in Twitterverse. You're gonna love Mike Porter. Oh, he's so the best.
Dun 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 dun. Doesn't get much better than that, does it?
No.
Perfect. Rural Farm Boy, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Star Wars Reactions. We appreciate you. You have done so much promoting for us, just being a fan out there, and we cannot thank you enough for that. And we can't thank you enough for taking time out of your schedule to sit down and just hang out and have a chat with us.
Like I said, I want to be friends with the Star Wars podcasters that I'm listening to. So I'm grateful to be here with you. You're the reason I do what I do. I'm not nobody. I just share what I'm listening to. So thank you. You brought me here.
Well, we appreciate you, and we do thank you, and we're this was so much fun. I appreciate it. David, brother, it's been a blast as always.
Absolutely. And like I said, I love these chats, and I'm so glad we had RFB on. And, what a great night. What a great way to spend the night talking to a friend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we want to thank everybody for listening in. We love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all are the best. We're praying for y'all. Be kind, do good, change the world, make it a better place just by being nice to somebody. Remember, this is your place for elegant discussion for a more civilized age.
If you'd like to share your thoughts, you can email us at show@starwarsreactions.com for our show notes and the latest news from the Star Wars universe. Visit our website at www.starwarsreactions.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at SWReactionsPod or on Facebook at Star Wars Reactions. If you enjoy our show, please leave a review on iTunes. This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or by Lucasfilm Limited. It's intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars. All names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and the respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Star Wars Reactions unless otherwise indicated. Star Wars Reactions. Elegant discussion for a more civilized age.